Hello and welcome to PDF for Exams YouTube channel. Today is day 5 and we are learning polity. So in today's video we will be learning about state executives. Here it is day 5 not 6 written by mistake. So yesterday we learned about union executive. In that video by mistake we also studied governor also, but here I am clarifying you that governor is part of state executive, not union executive. So as I've told that India is a democratic country and it forms parliamentary type of government, and in parliamentary we saw that at central level we have two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and we also know that in India we have federal government. Federal government means that we have government at state level also, as well as we have government at central level also. So at central level we have studied that there is a president, there is a prime minister, there is a council of minister who all are responsible for our kind of executive power or administration of the law that is enacted by legislative body of a country. So this is all what we studied yesterday. We studied about the power of president, how is elected, how this prime minister, what is his powers, how he is elected. We also studied about the council of minister. So today we will be studying about state executive. So who are the part of the state? First let's see what are the articles in which this state executive is mentioned. So state executive is mentioned under article 153 to 167 in part 6 of the constitution. In the state executive there is a governor, chief minister and council of minister, and finally we have advocate general of state. Advocate general means of course he is the chief legal advisor of the state. So governor, will start with governor and then move to chief minister and then finally to council of minister. So as we saw yesterday that president, so in state executive and in union executive almost there are many similarities. There are only few differences between both kind of government. We'll see those differences along with what are the similarity which is there in the power and type of the positions holded in state executive and union executive. So earlier, when beginning of the constitution, at the beginning of constitution, it was mentioned that each state should have one governor. But after 7th constitutional amendment of 1956, it was stated that, or it was facilitated that a same person can be appointed as governor of two or more states. It's not necessary that one governor should be there for every state. Instead, single person or single governor can hold position of governor of two or more states. And how is governor appointed? So in last video we saw that we had president, and president was elected. How he was elected? He was elected by member of college, and there were certain member of college. I'm not going to again in that because we have studied in last video, but still if you want I can revise over here. So there we studied that there are certain electoral college, and that electoral college consisted of elected member of Lok Sabha, elected member of Rajya Sabha, and elected member of Union Territory of Delhi and Pondicherry, which were later added. It was not earlier there at the beginning of constitution, but they were later added in after some amendment of constitution in electoral college. Those were responsible for electing president. But here in case of governor, although his powers are almost similar to president at state level, president is acting at central level, whereas governor is acting similar kind of function at state level. But the difference between the governor and the president is that president is elected indirectly, whereas governor is appointed by president. He is not elected, and president whenever he wants he can give resign to the president. That means whenever a governor wants to leave his office, he can just write a resignation to president and he can leave his office. So again I'm summarizing this how it functions. So we saw that at central level, let's make an similarity over here. This is central and this is state. So over here we had head of the center, president. Over here we have head of the state as governor. We had head of council of minister, that is prime minister of a country, and we have head of council of minister at state level, that is known as chief minister of the state. And again over here we had council of minister, and here too we have council of minister. Now these were the hierarchy over there and how the center function, and this is the hierarchy how state function. But difference between these both two places over here, this chief minister and appointment of this minister, and this over here the prime minister and appointment of this union minister, and over here the chief minister and appointment union of minister over here are similar. They are appointed by president with the help of prime minister. But the difference over here is that president is elected and over here governor is appointed by president. And we know how these PM and Council of Ministers are appointed. So once again, I'm repeating this, how they are appointed. So for appointing a Prime Minister or appointing a Chief Minister at state level, the provision is that the party whoever has got majority in the House, for example in Lok Sabha, the party which has the majority, the head of that party is elected as Prime Minister of the country by President, and at state level the party which has majority in the assembly, that is Legislative Assembly, he is elected as Chief Minister of the state by President, and the Union Minister, the Council of Ministers are elected with the Governor at state level and President at central level with the consent of Prime Minister at state level, whereas with the consent of Chief Minister at state level. So this is how this all positions are filled or selected or elected. Now coming to power and function of governors. Before this power and function of governor, the qualification, if we see the qualification, what should be a qualification of governor? So it's very simple. A very special qualification are not required for a governor. He should just be age of 35. That means anyone who want to be a governor, he should be more than 35 years old and he should be a citizen of India. That's it. And there is one more important provision or qualification given to him, but that is oftenly avoided. That is that is if a governor has to be appointed for a certain state, he should not belong to that state. Only then he can be appointed as governor. But we have seen in many cases that this rule is not followed. So I'm not considering this as a qualification or special qualification. But the two necessary qualification for anyone to become a governor is that he should be more than 35 years of age. And other qualification is that he should be a citizen of India, then only he can become a governor. And there is no political power or any kind of political appearance required for anyone to be a governor. So this is the qualification of governor. Now moving to powers and function of governor. So we'll compare power and function of governor with that of president, as governor is acting similar to how president acts as central level. Over here governor is acting at state level. So as president has many powers, that is executive powers, legislative powers, military powers. So we'll see each power one by one what a governor has. So starting with executive powers. Governor being the head of the state executive, as I've said, governor is the head of the state. All executive action is expression to be taken in name of governor. That means any action, any law, anything, any administration that has to be done at state level, it would be done at the name of governor, as it was done by the name of president whenever an executive action has to be taken place at central level. As president has right to appoint several position or designation, over here our governor also has the same power, but at state level. So what are his powers? So a governor can appoint a chief minister and other minister with advice of chief minister. So as I've told how a chief minister is appointed, for example, if elections are held and in the house of and before proceeding it, let me tell you that again, at central level we have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, two houses, whereas at state level we may have two houses or a single house may work. What are these houses? These are Legislative Assembly, that is lower house, and the upper house is called Legislative Council. So every state doesn't have this Legislative Council. Few states have Legislative Council, whereas all the states should have Legislative Assembly. So I'm not going into detail with this because this will come under state legislation. We'll study there in deep, so I'm not going over here in detail. So this we should know that there are two houses. A state can be unicameral as well as bicameral, whereas center is always bicameral because it has two houses for compulsion. Now where we were, yes, I was telling about how a chief minister is appointed. I've already told, but again I'm telling you that in Legislative Assembly, let's take an example that a single party has won a majority. So any party which has got majority, the leader of that party will be chosen as chief minister by the governor. Governor doesn't have do not have any option that he can select anyone as chief minister. No, he has to select the head of the party who has got majority, as it was in the case of central government or union government. So this is how chief minister is selected. Now if we talk about the council of minister, so again those council of minister are chosen with the governor only, but with the advice of chief minister. That means governor has to give his approval as chief minister says. So this is how these designations are filled. The next power or the next designation that can be filled by a governor or appointed by a governor are advocate general, chairman and member of state public commission, State Public Service Commission. In case of president or union executives, we saw that it was Union Public Service Commission, UPSC, but at state level it is State Public Service Commission. And you know these bodies very well. These are responsible for conducting the administrative exam of the state or country. UPSC conducts IAS examination, whereas State Public Service Commission conducts state service or State Public Service examination. Next is he has option or he has power to appoint member of subordinate judiciary, that is district judges and below. He can't appoint judges of High Court, as we saw that it is President's power to appoint any judge in High Court, whereas Governor can appoint only district judges and judges below that, not in the High Court. Although High Court is the highest court in a particular state, but Governor, who is head of the state, does not have any right to appoint judges in High Court. Next is that Vice Chancellor of State Universities. So we know that there are several universities which we call state universities, or we can say they are the universities which are aided or funded by Governor and run by Governor. Run by government. So in that case, Governor has right or power to appoint Vice Chancellor. Why does a Governor appoint Vice Chancellor? Why not Chancellor? Because Governor himself is the Chancellor of university run by state. That's why he has a right, or he appoints Vice Chancellor to any state university. And as I said that Governor does not have power to appoint judges in High Court, but he may be consulted by President in such appointment. Why he is consulted with President? Because he is the head of the state and he knows very well about the condition of the state, and he can consult or give his suggestion very well that who should be elected and who should not be elected as judge of the High Court. That's why he can, or he may not. It's not necessary that President will ask his consultation. If President wants, he can directly appoint High Court judge, or else he can consult Governor for appointment of High Court judge. So this was his executive power. Moving to next power of a governor is legislative power. So what are the legislative power? Legislation means the lawmaking body. So what are the power that can, how he plays a role in making law? So as we saw, President plays an important role in making law at union government or central government. Over there, what happens, there were two houses. Whenever any law has to make, what was the process? First, the bill was introduced in Lok Sabha. Then it moved to the next house, Rajya Sabha. Majority of votes were given from both the houses. Then finally, to bill to be converted to law, President assent was required. After that only a bill can become act, or else it would not be an act. So it is similar, somewhat similar in state level also. At state level, the role of President is done by Governor, but Governor has some extra points, or you can say little bit more functioning than what President has, because he is acting at state level. We'll see what are his powers, legislative powers over here. So as President has the power to summon, prorogue and dissolve legislative legislative assembly at central level. So over here he can dissolve this legislative assembly at state level. Sorry, at state level we have legislative assembly, at state level, at central level we have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha sessions over there. So President can dissolve on any of those sessions, whereas this Governor can dissolve legislative assembly session at state level. The other legislative power of a governor is that right to address the legislation and send message to it. What kind of message? When any kind of bill is pending with Governor, or if he has got some issue, so he can send a message in legislative assembly so that proper action can be taken during that period. Next power is that no bill can become law unless Governor give assent to it. He can give his assent, withhold his assent, or use pocket veto to state bill. Now, if any bill comes to a governor, he has three options. What are these options? If he want, he can give his assent, and once he gives his assent to that bill, it becomes an act. If he want, he can withhold that assent. Withholding and bill means it will not be converted to law, it will be destroyed, or you can say there would be end to that bill. Next is that he can use a pocket veto to the state bill. Pocket veto means he can put the bill with himself for a certain period of time, and after that, after consideration of president or whatever he want, after some particular of time, he can give assent to bill after certain, but that period is mentioned. If over here we are calling pocket veto means certain time period is fixed. Under that time period, governor has to give his assent. Next is he nominates one member of Anglo-Indian community to state assembly and 1/6 member of state legislative council. So as I've said, State governments are bicameral. They may be unicameral or bicameral. So if it is unicameral, he can nominate, the governor can nominate one Anglo-Indian community in legislative assembly and 1/6 member of legislative council if a state is, or state government or state legislation is bicameral. And what kind of nomination is done, as we have seen in case at our union executive or union government, we have seen that some special person from field of art, science, literature, social service and cooperative movement, these kind of people are given nomination. Or if the governor at state level or president at central level thinks that they have not got proper representation, then people of those categories can be given representation or nomination in legislative houses, and at state level they are Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. In Rajya Sabha there were 12 nominations, in Lok Sabha there were 2. Whereas at state level or state legislation there is only one nomination if the house is unicameral, and if the house is bicameral then 1/6 of the member of legislative council are nominated by governor. In the case of central level, the number of members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha were somewhat fixed, but in case of the state level it's not fixed. We'll talk about this when we are discussing state legislation. We'll see in that video. We are not coming to that points. Next is Article 200, assent to bill. So now coming to the bill, what kind of powers he has. So whenever a bill is passed by the legislator of state, it shall be presented to governor, who may accept the bill or reject the bill. So as I said, if the governor accept the bill, that means it becomes an act, and if he reject the bill, that is ended. That bill is ended and it cannot be converted to an act. Now in case of money bill, he may return to legislator for reconsideration, but and if he return the bill to legislator for reconsideration, in case of money bill actually he has 3 options, whereas in case of president he had only 2 options. One is if he want he can give his assent, if he doesn't want he will not give his assent, and if he doesn't give his assent that bill will not become act, whereas if he gives his assent it will become act. But he cannot, the president could not give or resend the money bill for reconsideration, but here governor can keep the bill or reserve the bill for consideration of the president. That means the money bill, whenever it comes to governor, he can give his assent directly, or if he want he can return the bill to the legislature for reconsideration. And the third option that a governor has, that he can reserve the bill for consideration of the president. Now once if the bill is kept for reconsideration with the president, now it is president duty to function on that. Now governor will no more responsible for acting on that particular bill which is kept reserved for consideration with president. Next point is that when a bill is returned to legislator by governor, it must be passed again to and accepted by governor. Now as I've said, if the bill is returned to legislator by governor, then it will pass again and accepted by the governor. That means if governor returns the bill, it will not become act until it is remanded or changes is done and given back to governor, and once the governor gives his assent, then only that bill will become act, or else it won't. Now as per article, there is special provision over here. As per article, when a bill is passed by legislative assembly, is presented to governor, governor has 4 options. I am telling this again and again, so this is repeated over here. If any bill is passed by both the houses and given to governor, he has several options. What are the options? I'm revising again because I've been telling this again and again. Here it is that if he gives his assent, it becomes a bill. Very simple. He withhold the assent. Withhold means cancel. He will not give any reply to the bill. It will be cancelled and it won't become an act. This is the second option. Third is return the bill to state legislation for reconsideration. Reconsideration, this was done in president also. President could also give or return the bill to reconsideration, but those bill was specific. It was not the money bill, because in money bill he had only 2 options, and it was not the amendment bill. In amendment bill also he had to give his assent. And over here he reserved the time bill for consideration of the president. The fourth option, that is very important option with the governor, that is an extra option which a governor has, because he is acting on behalf, not on behalf actually, but as a governor or an agent of central government. It is generally called, it's not written in constitution anywhere that governor is called agent of central government, but here it is considered over here that governor, since he is appointed by president and president is acting at state level, sorry, central level, so the governor is called agent of central government. Now next is Article 201. What does this says? This states that bill reserved for consideration. Now if any bill is reserved for consideration for president, what happens? So as I have said that if the bill is withheld by the governor to be take in consultation or to consult with president, in that case he may return bill for passage, the third option for the president. Now if president gets such bill, what he will do? He has powers, and what are the options with him? He can give his assent, again the same cases, or he can withhold the bill with absolute veto. Absolute veto means he cancels the bill and it doesn't becomes act anymore. And the third option is that he gives for reconsideration, and if the president has given the bill for reconsideration, then only president is responsible, not the governor. Governor will not play any role once the bill is kept for consideration with president. Now president comes into role even in case of state, so only when president give assent to that bill it will become act, or else it won't become an act. So only president would be responsible if any bill is passed by governor to him for thinking over it, whether he wants to give his assent, whether he wants to withhold, or whether he wants to give it for resuggestion, or whatever he wants to do. And one very important point over here to be considered is that there is no time, that means a time limit for president to take action. If any bill is kept for reconsideration or consideration by governor from president, the president does not have any time limit. He can take how much time he wants to do whatever he wants to do with the bill. There are many instances. If we take example, there are many instances that president has kept the bill for more than 6 years. And if we talk about recent example of such bill, so over here we can see governor of president assent is bill of Gujarat control of organized crime bill, for which the president has expressed the need to 3 changes and return it. That means this bill was given by governor of Gujarat to president, and president has given that I want few changes and return the bill to legislature. Now when legislature will amend the changes, then only it will return back to the president, and president, if he wants, he may give his assent, and if he doesn't want, he won't give his assent, as if he has asked for 3 changes. If 3 changes are done, then he will of course generally give assent to his bill, and that bill will come at state level or state legislative. So this was the legislative power of a governor. Now moving to the financial power. What does a governor of a state has the financial power? So under financial power, he causes to be laid before legislative annual financial statement. That means any annual financial statement is given, so it will be represented in front of him. Any money bill cannot be introduced in state legislative without prior information of governor. Prior information of governor means if the legislative assembly or legislative council have to introduce any kind of money bill in assembly, they will have to inform governor before presenting into assembly. Next is the annual and supplementary budget are introduced in assembly in the name of governor. Again, as we saw in executive powers, that any action taken by state government is taken by the name of governor. So here is the same with budgets. Any supplementary budget introduced in assembly will be in the name of governor. Next is no demand for grant can be made except his recommendation. So any changes, if any recommendations needed, it can be asked from the governor. The governor has control over the state contingency fund. Without his assent, the fund cannot be withdrawn. So there are several funds in state and central level. So at state level, this fund, the state contingency fund, especially this fund, if governor doesn't give his assent to withdraw this fund, it cannot be used by the state government until it is permitted by governor. So this was his financial power. Next is judicial power. So what are the judicial powers? So judicial power means power of pardoning. It is generally the power of pardoning which was given to president. So over here, the difference between judicial power of a president and governor is that president, as we know, he acts everything at central level, whereas governor is acting at state level. So the maximum or the major difference between both the judicial power is that governor cannot pardon a death punishment. That means if anyone has got death punishment, it cannot be pardoned by governor. Only president has that right, or else most of the cases or most of the right in case of judicial power are same, as it is considered at state level. That means if any high court has given any punishment to any person, any criminal, so those criminal or those punishment can be changed or altered by the governor. But if it was in case of Supreme Court, then president would be responsible. It goes at central level. So let's see what are the judicial power of a governor. So he is consulted by president while appointing judges of state court. We have seen this earlier that to appoint judges of high court, president has that power. Governor doesn't have that power to appoint judge of high court, but his consultation may be taken by President. If President wishes, it's not necessary that he will take the consult. Next is, according to Article 161, everything is mentioned under some of the other articles. So in Article 161, the Governor possesses the power to suspend, remit or commute the sentence of any person convicted of any offence against any law to which executive power of state extends. So let's see what are his pardoning powers. First is pardon. Pardon means completely absolve offender from all punishment. That means if anyone has committed some crime, for example, if anyone has done bank robbery and the High Court has given punishment of 7 years jail, in that case, if governor wants, I'm not saying that governor will pardon this kind of offences done by anyone, but it is just an example. So if that criminal goes to governor and governor thinks that no, it's right, he can be pardoned, it's not a very big crime, in that case governor can pardon his tenure of or his complete punishment, whatever he has got from the court. It was just an example. I'm not saying that governor will do in this case. There can be many scenarios. For example, if there is some social issue, social cause in family, for example, we have seen generally, for explaining this, let me take an example. We have seen in marriages there is a dowry system, and because of this system, although dowry is not very good, but in some cases what happens, women deliberately go and file case against the family of the husband, and in that type of cases, if the husband is right, so in those cases pardon can be given. So this was just an example. Next is reprieves, stay on execution of the sentence for temporary period. Reprieves means if anyone has got a punishment of death, so that period can be exempted for a time. For example, if someone has to be hanged till death after 1 month, so that can be withheld for a 2 month or 3 month. It can be extended so that proper action or proper again they can file their suit in other courts, or some thinking can be done over that case. Next is respite. Respite means avoiding lesser punishment on special grounds. That means if someone is incapable of taking his punishment, for example, if someone has got rigorous punishment of 7 years and if he is handicapped, in that case, if governor wish, it can be respited. Next is remission. Remissions means reduction of sentence without changing its character. So these all we have discussed yesterday also in case of president. So again I am discussing over here so that it get revised. So you can just see that these power are also similar to president also, but it was at central level, higher level. Over here these power of governor or judicial power are at state level. So what is remission? Remission means reducing the time without changing character. For example, if someone has got rigorous punishment, so that punishment, type of punishment will not change, only the duration will change. If the duration was 5 years, it can be reduced to 2 or 3 years. Next is commutation. Commutation means substitution. Simply this word means substitution. For example, if someone has got rigorous punishment, so it can be converted to simple punishment. If someone has got punishment of death, it can be converted to rigorous imprisonment for his lifetime. So this is commutation. So this is judicial power of a governor. Next, moving to discrete power of a governor. What means discrete? So let's see, under certain article 163, there shall be a council of ministers headed by chief minister to aid and advise the governor, and governor shall exercise his power according to such advice, except where the constitution requires him to act in his discretion. That means in case of president, what we saw that president has to appoint prime minister out of the union of ministers or the head of the party which has got majority in Lok Sabha. But here what can happen, and it was compulsory that president had to appoint the head of the party only, but here it's not necessary. In some cases, if governor wants or governor is thinking that this constitution, according to constitution, the head of the party cannot be chief minister of that state, and at that time governor can take different steps. Next is, and these discrete power are not very clearly mentioned in our constitution, it's just given in simple sentences. Next is, there are two types of situations in which governor is expected to use his discretion. Now what are these situations? The first is which are implied by the nature of parliamentary democracy and constitution. Next is those where constitution has expressly imposed special responsibility of government. So over here there are some special responsibilities to a governor in some states. Special responsibility to a governor is not given in every state, but there are few states exempted and governor is given special responsibility. Now why there was requirement of special responsibility given to be a governor? Sorry. So there are many reasons behind it. So the reasons can be socio-economic, geographical boundaries, geographical location, and number of reasons were there. So because of that, governor were given special responsibility powers. So let's see what are these powers. These are divided into certain articles. It is given in Article 371. So let's see them one by one. So special responsibility of a governor of Maharashtra and Gujarat for establishment and development of boards of Vidarbha, Marathawad, Saurashtra and Kutch. So special boards has to be developed in these area. That's why, and these responsibility were given to governor. And why these special boards were developed? Because of the representation at these places. Next is in Article 371A, it states that special responsibility of governor of Nagaland with respect to law and order, so that an internal disturbances occur in some area of the state, to establish a regional council of Tuesnang district to arrange for equitable allocation of money between this and district of rest of the Naga. So in Nagaland we have seen that there are generally internal disturbances taking place, because they always seems to get their own state. They're always demanding that they want their own state because of some tribal disturbances over there. There is a separate video made on Naga peace accord which will explain you everything happening in Nagaland, whatever the problem over there. And there are many videos on YouTube you can see about this Nagaland problem. So there are lots of problems in Nagaland. Because of that, under Article 371A, special responsibility to governor of that state has been given, so that the money, whatever the funds are given to that state, it can be wisely used between the state, special state this and the rest of the state of Nagaland. In Article 371C, let's see what is this. Special responsibility of governor of Manipur to secure the proper functioning of a committee of members of Legislative Assembly consisting of member representing the hill area. Now here again the tribal kind of problem is coming, that in Manipur, as we can see, it is in northeast part of a country. In that there are certain hilly area, and hilly area we know most people are tribal. So for giving proper representation of those people in assembly, special responsibility are given to governor. That means governor are responsible for appointing. As we know, governor has the option for nomination of certain people in assemblies, whether it is legislative assembly or legislative council. So with that power, governor can take care of these things. Next is special responsibility of governor of Sikkim for peace and for an equitable arrangement for ensuring advancement of different section of the population in Sikkim. Now again, in Sikkim, the peace is, there is a problem of peace. That means some kind of insurgency is there, and there are different section of people everywhere in Sikkim. That means the culture in Sikkim varies from place to place. That's why governor has responsibility to take care of the peace in those states or in that state. Next is Article 371HA. In this, special responsibility of a governor of Arunachal Pradesh with respect to law and order. So why this issue ordinance has power has been given to governor? Because there might be problem of law and order in this state. That's why governor has to maintain law and order in Arunachal Pradesh. Governor. And the last special powers are given in 6th schedule. It provides that the governor of Assam shall determine the amount of payable by state of Assam to district council as royalty accruing from license of minerals. So lots of minerals are found in Assam, and whatever the license, royalty of license are given to government, and the money that is given by government has to be distributed to these mineral license by the governor. So this is or these were the special power of a governor. So this was all about the governor. Now moving to next member of state executive, that is chief minister and council of minister. Now who is this chief minister? We have already discussed again and again, but still I'm telling you, chief minister is head of the party winning in the legislative assembly elections, and that has to be appointed as chief, that particular person has to be appointed as chief minister of that state. And rest, the council of minister, those are appointed by the governor, but with suggestion of or consultation of chief minister. Chief minister says that I want to appoint these person as as council of minister. Like there are various segment of, there are various portfolio which are acting in government for proper functioning of government. So over there those ministers are appointed by governor but with help of chief minister. So let's see what are the appointments or how a chief minister is appointed. The constitution does not provide any specific procedure for selection of appointment. So as I said, there is no special provision in the constitution written that there should be minimum qualification or anything to appoint the chief minister. Actually, chief minister or prime minister, they are just one of the union of minister. For example, if here we have seen that council of minister, so chief minister is also one of the council minister, out of which he is elected as chief minister, as it was in case of prime minister. So moving to next article 164, what does this say? It says only chief minister shall be appointed by governor. So this article says only that the chief minister has to be appointed by governor, and we have already discussed how it is appointed. Now there can be certain cases. First, we have seen that if any party has gone majority, then the head of that party will be elected as chief minister of the state. But in some cases, it might happen that no party gets majority in that election. So in that case, governor may exercise his discretion power, personal discretion power, to appoint chief minister. He can appoint or he can elect chief minister on his own. Next is the governor may have to exercise individual judgment in selection of appointment of chief minister when chief minister in office dies suddenly and there is no obvious successor. In some cases, there might be possibilities that during the tenure of state government, chief minister dies. So in that case, governor has option to select new chief minister. Next is a person who is not member of state legislature can be appointed as chief minister for 6 months, within which he should be elected to a state legislature, failing which he ceases to chief minister. That means if in case of vacancy of chief minister, a person, whether he may be a member of legislative assembly or not, he can be appointed as a chief minister, but only for 6 months, and in that 6 months he has to prove his membership in state legislation. So this was his chief ministers and how he is appointed and what are his powers. Now let's see what are the power of chief minister and his functions. So power and function of chief minister are certain with respect to several persons, like in relation with governor, in relation with council of minister. We'll say them one by one. So starting with powers and function of chief minister. So here in relation to council of minister, the first point is how he plays a role within the council of minister. So in council of minister, what it says, the governor appoints only those persons as minister who are recommended by chief minister. So this is very common, and it was similar in case of our union executive, that a council of minister at union of minister is appointed by president with the help or with the consultation of the prime minister. Here it is done with the consultation of chief minister by governor. Next is he allocates and reshuffles the portfolio among the minister. That means it's not necessary that if any minister has got a single portfolio, it will remain same for entire time period of 5 years. He may reshuffle or change portfolio whenever he wants. He can ask a minister to resign or advise the governor to dismiss him in case of different opinion. So let's see, if for example, if someone is chief minister of one state and there are several ministers, and this chief minister orders passes some order to every minister differently. That means he will get order according to his portfolio, the other minister will get orders to his portfolio, and the third minister will get orders from chief minister according to his portfolio. So in some cases it might occur that this minister or this minister or this minister doesn't agree with chief minister's consent. So at that time, chief minister can ask governor to dismiss or can ask resignation from that particular minister. Next is he presides over the meeting of council of minister and influences its decision. That means he is the head. Of course, if someone is head of any group or any family or any place, influence would be his. Next is he guides, direct, control and coordinate activities of all minister. Of course, he is the head of the minister, then he is responsible for governance or activities whatever is taking in that place by his minister. Chief minister is responsible for everything. Next is he can bring about the collapse of council of ministry by resigning from office. Here it is an important point, what it is saying. It is saying that if there are several council of minister and they make a group, so in that case chief minister can collapse the council of minister. That means those minister will no more be in power just by resigning from office. If chief minister resign, then every member of council of minister will be collapsed. A new council of minister has to be formed in that case after formation of new state government. Since the chief minister is head of the council of ministers, his resignation or that automatically dissolve the council of ministers. So it doesn't mean that it is done, it is automatically written in constitution that it automatically dissolves whenever a chief minister dies or he resigns. The resignation or death of any minister, or on the other hand, rarely creates a vacancy which the chief minister may or may not feel like. But as we have seen, that if head of those minister dies, this ministry or the council of ministers dissolved. That means it's completely finished. But if any of these members, any one of council of ministers dies, doesn't happen anything, just a vacancy is created, and that vacancy can be created or filled with a new member by chief minister, and if chief minister doesn't want to fill that vacancy, it may remain vacant. So this was the power and function of chief minister regarding to council of ministers. Next is in relation to governor. How does a chief minister plays roles in case of governor? So over here, he is the principal channel of communication between governor and council of ministers. So what is the hierarchy, friends? Governor, chief minister and council of ministers. So who is in between? Chief minister. So here's the channel of communication between the governor and council of ministers. It's clear by this diagram. Next is if it is the deputy of chief minister, it is duty of chief minister. What are the duties of chief minister? To communicate to governor of all state decision, council of ministers, it is clear by this. To furnish such information relating to administration of affairs of state proposed of legislative as governor may calls on. So these are power of chief minister with relation of governor. You can read from here. Next is in relation to state legislature. State legislature means the body which are responsible for formation of acts and laws at state level. So in this case, he advises the governor with regard to summoning and proroguing the session of the state legislature. That means whenever a chief minister wants that the council or the state legislation meeting has to be summoned, so he can advise governor and governor can act accordingly. He can recommend the dissolution of legislative assembly governor at any time. That means dissolution of the members at powers, he can ask the governor. He can recommend the governor, and if governor wants, he can just dissolute the legislative assembly. Next is he announces the government policies on the floor of the houses. Whatever act or policies are being made by the state government, it is announced by chief minister. Next is the other powers and function. Let's see them one by one. So I start with here is the chairman of state planning board. So as we saw that at central level, prime minister was chairman of what? Niti Aayog, which was the planning commission at central level. So here chief minister is head of or chairman of state planning board. He acts as vice chairman of concerned zonal council by rotation of office for a period of 1 year at a time. That means chief minister can also, or he plays actually the role of vice chairman of zonal council. Next is he is a member of interstate council at national development council, both headed by prime minister. So what is this? So as we know, we have got a federal system of government. Federal system of government means state government, central government, and at central government, this government needs representation from every state, so that from central also few states can be managed. As we know, funds are given from central government also to state government to run these states smoothly. So in this case, chief minister is member of interstate council at central level, out of which, that means the head of this council is prime minister. He is the chief spokesman of the state government. It's very clear. He is the crisis manager. That means whatever kind of management has to be done at state level is done by chief minister, as he is the head of the state. And we'll study now council minister. Council of minister, as we know, they are the minister which are appointed by governor with the concern of chief minister. Let's see what are they. So the total number of ministers, including chief minister and council minister in a state, shall not exceed 15% of total strength of legislative assembly, but the number of minister in state shall not be less than 12, including the chief minister. Now what does this line mean? So although we'll study this in detail in state legislative, but still let's see here in brief what does this mean. So council of minister, what we understand by council of minister. Council of minister means minister at several portfolio who are responsible for governing or helping chief minister to run state. Now these number of these minister, From where these ministers are selected? These members are selected from Legislative Assembly. What is Legislative Assembly? The lower house at state level, as it is Lok Sabha at central level. So the member of the Council of Ministers, the number of Council of Ministers should not be more than 15%. So for example, in Legislative Assembly there are 100 members. So in Council of Minister only 15 members can involve, not more than 15 members should be there in Council of Minister. Next is, this provision was added by 91st Constitution Amendment in 2003. Let's see what are the other points. They are determined by Chief Minister according to exigencies of the time and requirement of situation. The difference between them lies in respective ranks, emolument and political importance. That means there are few difference between the Council of Ministers. It's not necessary that every Council of Minister or every minister in the council will get same rank, same emolument, same political importance. It may differ as per the functioning. At top all these ministers stand the Chief Minister, supreme governing authority of the state. Next is that the cabinet minister next is that the cabinet minister head the important department of state government like home, education, finance, agriculture and so forth. So these ministers, they head various section of the state. That means like education, home means the defense system of the state, that is police and all, finance, agriculture. So these are headed by the cabinet ministers. Next is Minister of State can either be given independent charge of department or can be attached to cabinet minister. So it's not necessary that whoever are the minister of state, they can be given independent charge by chief minister, or they are attached from department of the cabinet minister at central level. However, they are not member of cabinet and do not attend cabinet meetings. Next is next in the rank are deputy minister. After this Council of Minister, the next rank goes to the deputy minister in hierarchy. They are not given independent charge of the department. They are attached to cabinet minister and assist them in administrative, political and parliamentary duties. They are not member of cabinet. And so this was all about today's video. So in today's video we have studied about state executive. Yesterday we studied about central executive. In next video, that means on day 6, we will be studying about union legislative, and in next day we'll study state legislative. So this will complete our execution and legislation part of the polity. So that's all for today's video. Let's see tomorrow. Till then, goodbye.